Hello, everyone. I welcome you all for the Premier Technology and Innovation Confluence. This is the third edition initiated by the Business Fame in association with Scriberlee. As it is the third edition, this platform continues to bring together visionary leaders like you, innovators, and industry experts as well. Today's discussion is all about navigating change, the role of tech leaders in innovation. And I couldn't be more excited to talk to you all and get the discussion going. Technology is reshaping, as we all know, and I would like to know from you all about different industries and what's your take on different perspectives. Without wasting time, let's just start with it. Okay, before we go ahead, I would like to thank Ajay from the Business Fame magazine for taking efforts to host this conference. Thank you so much, Ajay. Thank you, speakers, for taking time and being here today. I am more than blessed to host you all. I am Riya. I am the founder of Scriberlee. I am writer and trainer as well. Uh, Before we go ahead, I would like if you all could introduce yourself. In today's session, we have Kutalingam, Karupaswamy, Lakshman Ra, and Dinesh. So let's start with Dinesh. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm an data architect in the industry for the last 20 plus years, and I'm of more of on the data side, and uh, and I'm also part of some of the the prestigious institutions like the IEEE. Then I was a part of the judging committees from Globee, Brandon, and there's a couple of things like that. So yeah, that's all about my background.
Ria, you are on mute if you're talking.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Dinesh. Looking forward to talk to you more. Can I have Lakshmana Rao, please?
Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. This is Lakshmana Kopada. Actually, I working for one of the big four accounting firms in the advisory sector, and I've been in the industry for the 15 plus years, working as industry information technology in different roles. And I'm also, apart from the professional work, I'm also helping the information technology and other sectors, in terms of, providing the products and services reviews, working as a judge for Brandon Hall, Globee, Stevia, and other stuff. And also, I'm a IEEE senior member and IET fellow member as well. So I think thank you so much for the opportunity and to express my views on this area. And it's really critical, I think, in the current industry. Thanks for having me here.
Great to have you, Lakshmana Rao. I look forward to talking to you as well. Can I have Mr. Karupaswamy to introduce yourself?
Yep. So, hello everyone. I'm Karupusamy Gopalan. I'm working as a senior manager in a leading service-based company. So I am specialized in kind of enterprise architecture, cloud migrations, and emerging Gen AI initiatives. So that's my role basically in the service industry. And with over 20 plus years of experience, I'm holding I have led plenty of migrations kind of from on-prem to cloud and a lot of automations with mission critical process. And also I have did a lot of cloud optimized cost optimization initiatives. I led all those kind of initiatives. Then yeah, I other than that, I do take care of uh, plenty of team managements as well as the obviously their resource management kind of stuff. And more of my specialization in the industry is the healthcare sector. So that is where I always I mean, maybe my industry has given me the opportunity to do a lot of innovation related in things. So, and I'm passionate about leveraging automations and DevOps and best practice to enhance the system reliability and minimize the downtime and improve the IT resilience. And other than that, I'm in part of a lot of membership with IEEE senior member, with SCR as a fellow member, as well as an IET professional member, as well as the ACM professional member. And I do a lot of judging, as well as I've done a lot of journals publication as well, related to the field of specialization. So beyond my technical ability, so I do, I am trying to involve in strategic IT initiatives at the company level, as well as the aligning the enterprise architecture with the business objective. So that's my more of a role, and I'm playing it for the past 20 years. And
Wow,
thanks
that's
for giving
amazing.
me the opportunity to talk about this, and talking with meeting multiple people, and sharing the knowledge.
That's amazing to know. That's huge experience, I must say. Great, congratulations. Can I have Kotha Lingam, please, to introduce yourself?
Hey, thank you. Good to know everyone. Dinesh, Karpasamy, Lisman Rao. And I is glad to join with you. A pleasure to join today with you all. My name is Kothalingam. You can call me Lingam. I was in this industry more than 21 years. I am playing cloud architect in fintech domain, financial and banking domain. My main goal is for purely automated and streamless pipeline in the industry. I begin my career in mainframe. Slowly I land data warehouse sub initio. Then now I'm in the platform, cloud platform team, infrastructure team. I am also part of IEEE senior member, IANG senior member, and the CRS fellowship. And I published 2 or 3 research paper recently. The research is going on in my side. I am still working on a couple of research development, and I speak couple of conference also in talking about cloud computing and how we can leverage AI and ML in cloud and on AWS side. That's the main core in my side. And I did a couple of certifications in AWS side, and that's where my knowledge. I am still focusing on innovation part and mentors also. Thank you for the great opportunity and nice meeting with you all. Thank you.
Amazing. Great to know you as well. So we have amazing speakers and a huge experience you all have. It's my pleasure to talk to you. And let's start with the Premier Technology and Innovation Confluence uh, by the Business Fame magazine in association with Scriberlee. My first question for today's topic, navigating change, the role of tech leaders in innovation. The first question goes to Mr. Lingam. If you can talk about how can tech leaders drive innovation effectively within their organization?
It's a great question. I can gather the technology leaders. We know that piece of innovations is continuously accelerating today. I want to share some simple word but powerful way I can explain the topic. I'm looking for first one cultural innovations. That is meaning as a leader, we must ensure our team feel comfortable being creative and trying new things. That is a main one. And in cultural innovations, I'm literally focusing on whenever the failure is happening. The innovation meaning trying to new things. Not everything will work. Correct. We need to encourage our team to fail and learn from it and keep it going. And that's a new idea. I'm implementing my team to celebrate creativity. because someone is come with a new idea. I have to recognize first, then I have to ask that guy to present in the team. Then the motivation will happen within the team. That way, the innovation culture will start. The second point I am talking about time and tool experimentations. That is a key for everyone. As an employer and employee, we have to provide the enough time so that the team members will bring more idea, and they can they have to we have to give their time for them to experiment, so that it that tool will be more efficiency, and we can focus on the customer, the real customer problem. We can focus and we can plan for innovation things. That's a third one. And fourth one I'm talking about, make sure the innovation suit matches your company goal, that organization goal. We can think about a lot of things, but we have to make sure whatever innovations we are planning, that should be aligned with our organization goal. That's why our customer will also satisfied, and our purpose of the project will go live, and we will get recognitions that one. And keep learning, that is another one. For example, today I started my career in mainframe, and I moved to data Abnisio project. There I learned Abnisio. Then I moved to AWS cloud. This kind of learning we have to do it in our that is a main goal for learning the new technology and implementing the new innovations in that technology. That is a digital world we are right now. We have to focus on that one. These are the main topic I'm looking for.
Oh, amazing. That was deep within the topic. I do agree with the fail. I mean, I agree with each and every point, but I would like to add about the failure thing, which you talked about. My perspective as being a leader, and when you talk about innovation, there's no such thing as failure. Either you learn something new or you succeed. So that's my take
It's a
about
two
it.
way. We are
Yeah,
trying something. If
yeah,
something is, we are not always 100% correct.
yeah,
We are always trying our innovations. Somewhere it will fulfill the customer expectations, sometime it won't, but it doesn't meaning that is failure. Why I call out failure here, everything we can call out accountable, and we have to celebrate every
absolutely.
single one is innovations. That's what
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Moving on to Kurupaswamy, my question to you is, what impact does leadership have in adopting emerging technologies?
Hey, yeah, yeah. So that's a nice question to ask. Yeah, being a leader. So, no, so leadership is the one of the key role for any organization's growth, right? Because they take a decision and they do decisions to bring the an organization's growth in the perspective of the technology, or you take it as a growth with you know uh, how do they climb up with the competition what they have in the industry, right? So what I say, like, leadership is a key determinant of whether it's an emerging technology, whether they introduce some new technology where they succeed or fail. So the fail is nothing but it's about they are just dragging behind on the current technology. That's it. So only thing is they introduce new people, or maybe they trained people to make sure that they are up to the market, to make sure that they deliver the right thing to the customers, right? Because at the end of the day, the customer is what they depend on as a service based companies, right? So the strong leaders create a vision and align technologies with the business objectives, right? And they ensures the smooth transitions by addressing the resistance and the risk of that particular technology what they choose on, right? So when you think about that leadership impacts in the technology, right? So I generally, divide into 3 or 4 categories in here, right? So one is about the vision and the strategies, right? So the great leaders don't adapt the technology basically, right? So for the sake of innovation, so they ensure they know every new adoption solves a real time problems, right? So real problem in the way how what is the expectation from the customer as well as what is the expectation for the business to provide to the customer, right? So those are the things generally the leadership take it as a vision to make sure that they grow, and they grow as well as the company also comes behind them, right? So that's how the company grows. So it is all a group work, right? So it's not that leader decides and then they just go on. So even underneath the leader there'll be a multiple people who is working underneath them, so they just take it further and make sure that the company grows. The second thing is whatever the Kuthalingam talk about that, right? So the cultural and the innovation, right? So that is one of the good thing, so obviously, so every time you just do what and things, right? So that is like a machine, right? So we are not a machine, right? We are a human being, so we do take care of multiple areas and make sure that we contribute on all the areas, and make sure the people who works under him, they have to make sure that they are contributed and they are knowledgeable in on all the aspect of what they specifically do it. So other than that, I'll talk about the investment and the resource allocations. So when the leader align for an AI or cloud or automation, so it requires not just a vision, right? So also the investments, also the skills, as well as the infrastructures to do whatever they are trying to do it, and as well as the partnership with the vendors. Like if you are choosing for the cloud, say obviously we have few of the top cloud providers, so that we have to align with them to make sure that we get whatever we require for contributing our effort. So that leadership ensures that kind of resources in place. So then the next one is it's going to be a risk management and the governance, right? So it's not that leadership decides everything. Obviously, there is being an industry, so they have a lot of pros and cons, no. So though the leadership take a decision, so on top of it you have plenty of teams who sits and takes care of the risk management as well as your governance. So, for instance, when adopting an AI-driven automation, leadership ensures governance framework are in place before they make any decisions, right? And or before they go live in any places. So, those are a few things I just want to highlight in this innovation being a leadership in emerging technologies in the industry.
Yeah. That was quite intriguing. Thank you so much for deep diving in that. My next question is for Lakshmana Rao. And again, let's continue with culture. What strategies foster a culture of creativity in tech-driven environments?
Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second. Okay, actually, first of all, I think Lingam and Kupuswamy, they made it very valid points. I mean, I don't want to interject them, but so I think that kind of reminds me the innovation. I think it just recalls me like in a usually in when we have scientists, right? I think I just call out an example of like who invented the electric bulb, Thomas Edison. He always says like he did not fail for 10,000 times to invent a bulb. He found out a ways how to not to do create a bulb, right? Definitely this innovation or whatever what we do, it literally like we just have to keep trying. But I think scientists, they always like to persistently trying until they reach goal. But nowadays in industries we have some boundaries, literally like we have to follow all these governance, because it definitely this is more of like in R&D world or product places. They always like, hey, we have enough little bit of a budget, we have to follow these guidelines and that kind of stuff. So I think thank you so much for sharing your viewpoints on that one. So I think coming to your question, Ria. So I think what I understood, the question is like the what strategies foster a culture of creativity in tech-driven environment, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think in my perspective, um, in today's tech-driven world, creativity it's not just a nice to have. It's a must thing, right? So innovation doesn't come from code alone. It comes from how we think and how we collaborate and challenge the status quo. And in my opinion, there are top five strategies to be considered, right? The first one is psychological safety as a first, right? So the teams needs to feel safe to speak up, take a risk, and share the unconventional ideas. So they have to bring the out of the box ideas, right? And the leaders must create an environment where the failures is seen as a learning, not as a punishment. Meaning that okay, you're just going, outside. So sometimes people have to go a little bit of outside the box thinking as well, right? And the second point is diverse and cross-functional teams. So innovation comes from varied perspective, like a diverse perspective, right? So by bringing together engineers, designers, analysts, and even customers, we unlock the creative solution that one lens can't alone see. That means everybody have a different lens to their perspectiveness, right? And the third point is I believe like freedom with a purpose. So giving teams the autonomy to explore, experiment, and the build, but with a clear direction. So everybody doing things, but everybody have a follow to our goal, right? So when people know the why, so they have more creativity. They'll have more creativity in finding how, right? So that's how the people should be thinking, right? And the fourth point is a time and space to innovate, right? So creativity doesn't happen under a constant pressure, right? The best tech environments carve out a time, like innovation days and hackathons, you know, so teams can explore the fresh ideas outside the day-to-day task or out of the box ideas, right? And the lastly, celebrating the creativity, not just a success, right? It's more important to recognize and reward original thinking, right? Because that idea because may not be helpful in the current thing, but definitely that might be can work out as a second product or any other new opportunities may show up during the journey of when we go to innovating something, right? So, and even when the results isn't it perfect, encouraging the team efforts, sending a clear message, saying that we value your ideas, not just outcomes, right? So, to conclude, fostering the creativity in a tech-driven environment isn't just about the like a trendy perks, bonus, or flashy setups. It's just about cultivating the right mindset and when we champion psychological safety, embracing the diverse perspectives, encouraging people to think from the out of the box, and empowering teams with autonomy, make space for the innovation, and recognizing the creative efforts, we unlock a culture where ideas flow naturally, and that's the foundation where a true innovation and that creates a lasting impact. So I think that's my perspective.
That's absolutely what I think with, because I feel innovation starts with inspiration. And you talked about everything what was mandatory. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next is my question for Dinesh. How can tech leaders inspire and manage diverse teams and transition and transformations?
Okay, that's a good question. So, working with different kind of people is something, a challenging thing that I have come across basically. So when you are leading a team, through the transformations, one of the most important things to recognize the diversity, and it is a competitive advantage, but people from different background brings different ideas, and they have a different experience, and the way of solving problems is also different. But for the diversity to truly make an impact, leaders need to actually, they have to create where people feel, safe to speak up, like, next one was saying about. So, and they should be able to contribute and, challenge things, right? So we should have an environment in such a way. And transformation often, what happens is, brings a lot of uncertainty. So right now, if you see the market, like if there are new tools, new process, sometimes even the business model is something, totally different. So that's when you need to bring the clarity to the team. So we need to make a point to communicate openly and explain not just what is changing, but why it is changing, right? So we need to give a clear picture of what we are actually planning to do as a leader, right? So we need to be one, tell them the complete picture of what is going to, come up. So that way, they have the more involvement, rather than just being told to do just the thing what we want to do, right? So inclusion and transparency go hands in hand. So as a leader, we are not just here to, manage transition. We are here to inspire and get confidence and bring people together around a, shared culture. So when that happens, teams start seeing change not as a, as a stranger, but they also mingle with you, collaborate with you. They have the space to speak. So, so what I would say is, inspiring diverse teams during change is about, building the trust, which is very important, and sharing the purpose. Yeah, that's my view actually.
Superb. Talking about change, I feel change is the only constant, and we all must have gone by it some or the other time. And talking about change, my next question is for Mr. Lingam. What are the essential qualities for any leader, a successful leader, during change?
Okay, before that, I aligned with Lesman and Dinesh and Karpasamy couple of topics. Lesman, you talked about cultural innovations. That's the one I talked. My first question I talk about my first point, where the cultural innovation is huge impact to leadership for innovation side. Thanks for sharing a lot of informations in this section. I now talking about the quality of a successful tech leader during the changes. As a successful leader, based on my 20 years experience in this industry, what I'm looking for, the visionary is a very important one, and adaptable. That is a second key I am looking for, and third one, empathy is communicator. That's a good communicator who can make tough decision and solve the problem and guide their team effectively whenever they are thinking strategic thinking. We are supporting to the team. And clear vision is very important to the good leader, to know where the organization is going on. Even when things are changing, this help everyone to understand why the changes are happening and what is the goal next. That is a major one, the clear vision side I am looking for. And second one is flexibility. We have to give some space to innovation team as a leader. Um, Team should think about it. We have to give the flexibility and plan accordingly. That is a main goal for leadership side. The tech leader should have the flexibility and good communications. That is a very key one. The leader should clearly explain what's happening, why it's happening, and what it means for the team to make sure success. That is a clear communications. That is a one. And empathy and understanding. Yes, changes are very hard. For example, as a leader should listen the team concerns and challenges, then understand their feeling and help them into next level. How to support whenever they are struggling something, how to support that kind of understanding the leaders should have it, and teamwork. That is very key for the leadership quality. That tech leader needs to work well within the team, allow everyone to contribute their idea. For example, whenever the team is facing some problem, one guy is facing some problem, he has to connect to the team members. He has to make a team meeting and support that guy in the next level. That kind of teamwork, he has to build it. That is a one. And planning. That is a key here. We have to plan ahead. When it's not a short-term plan, innovation is not always short-term. It's a long term. We have to focus on how the innovation will work for the organization and make sure the innovations is a key for automation side. It's a streamless one. It's a touchless for people. They is for automated way people can deploy. For example, anyone coming for cloud, if they want to deploy the applications, they no need to touch anything. They can simply say this is my requirement, is automatically deploy the applications in the cloud. That's kind of one of the example that innovation should help for customer. That's my that last one is problem solving. New challenges as a leader, we must be able to find the solution quickly. We have to help strong problem solving keeps the team track and help overcome obstacles. They whatever the challenges they are facing, we have to support them and how to solve those kind of things. We have to support to as a good leader, we got to support to the team. These are the quality I'm looking for the tech leads so that innovation will success and we can work on more innovative. We can encourage the team members.
Superb. That was amazing. You covered up each and every point which was necessary. Thank you so much. My next question is for Karupaswamy, and I would like to ask you, how do tech leaders navigate challenges, especially while pushing forward innovation?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for this question. So this was one is closely aligned with whatever just Lingam spoke about, right? So it's about the quality, and it's about when being a leader, what are the challenges, right, that they face when they bring it any innovation or anything to the table, right? So it's my personal opinion. Being a leader, so he should highlight the balance between overcoming the challenges and the driving innovation while showcasing the leadership, right? Because so being a leader, he just like that, he cannot put all his thoughts into the table without considering actually who is going to work on that, right? So I'm going to talk about specifically on that part, right? So being a leader, right? So I focus on aligning these strategies, right? So right, aligning the innovations with business strategies and business priorities, ensuring that every technology advancements, right? So what are the technologies that in the current market, so that is you know totally contributes to the long-term growth and the efficiency instead of introducing something new which don't stand across in the industries at this moment, right? So other than that, being a leader, so I try to prioritize when we do any innovation or anything, and innovation is nothing but your any thoughts with the automations, or you take it any Gen AI. Recently, that is the word. Recently in the industry they are talking about Gen AI. It's nothing but innovations, right? So what you think and what you want, what you can automate, and where there is no need of any manual interventions. So that is what they are talking about, right? So when you go with that kind of innovations things, so try to prioritize and leverage the data driven insights, right? being okay, we know this and we can do this. No, it's not. That's not how the innovations works, right? So we need to have anything in the data, right? So to make sure that okay, this is going to work for this. So that's how we have to propose to the management. That's where the management or maybe the leadership will take a decisions, right? So that's where that's the challenge for being a tech lead. So when you put something on the table, so they make sure that that runs. It's not that okay, I just put it on the table and that flies, right? So that never happens. So when without the data, you cannot you cannot put you cannot showcase what exactly you are trying to do it. So other than that, I would say tech leaders should operate in a high, I mean, they basically will be in a high stake environments, right? So where whenever they bring it something into the table, so they must simultaneously mitigate the risks when they come into, I mean, when they are presenting into their thoughts into management, right? So they have to make sure that they simultaneously mitigate the risks and drive forward thinking and solutions, right? So that's how I always know, being a leader, a tech leader, I always think about it. So and so other thing is the overcoming the resistance to change. So basically, to navigate the resistance by clearly communicating the value of the innovations and addressing the concerns in a such a way that what kind of strategies they need when they are trying to introduce something new, right? And and ensuring that smooth transition between without any disruption, I would say, right? So whenever we are doing say for example, I'll say like when you are moving from on-prem to an cloud environment. So it's not that so easy kind, to migrate one from one place to the other place. So we have to consider about the obviously the cost. So then there is a lot of people where they don't want to go to cloud at all, right? So because of their data. So with for example, since I'm working in the healthcare industry, so I had a real-time example, I would say, right? So when I was leading one of the cloud transitions from on-prem to Azure cloud. So where since it is a healthcare, so they majorly on the HIPAA control as well as the PIA. So when we talk about the HIPAA and PIA, it is more of a data security. So they generally constrain about, they don't want to share any personal data on someone's hand, right? So just like that, because that leads to any of the data breach, right? So any kind of data breach for an individual. So with the healthcare industry, with medical related information, so they don't want to share it to anyone. So when we are talking about that, so when we introduce the cloud, so they had plenty of questions on the table. So how do we address all of this, right? So by giving them the options, whereas where we have a SaaS as application, SaaS and PaaS and IaaS, we have plenty of options in cloud where so you don't need to go as a SaaS or PaaS, whereas infrastructure as a service which you own by yourself and you manage your data, so which will not be having access to any one of the outsiders. So that way you can manage the infrastructure as well as your data by your own, and then nobody will enter into that area itself. So that way we have to convince, or it is not kind of a convincing, but still you are giving a real-time data, so who are all in this field and who are already migrated to that places, and that is when we were able to convince and get them into the cloud. So those are all the challenges when being a tech leader. So how do you convince being a people where they were more conserved on their data privacy as well as the uh, efficiency, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much for addressing the challenges. I think hats off to all the leaders who are trying to cope up with innovation as well as coming up with the challenges. It really calls for a cheer. So amazing, amazing. My next question is for Lakshman Rao. When we talk about innovation, we see that risk is always interlinked with innovation. So, my question to you is, how do tech leaders balance risk with the need for innovation?
Sure, yeah. That's a very wonderful question. I think before I go with that question, I would like to bring my opinion with respect to the what Lingam and then Kupuswamy said. So I think for the point of Lingam said a clear vision, right? So I think the clear vision that brings me a point in from my, back in India. So there used to be a slogan called everybody should think like a CEO or a leader in terms of the vision and the responsibility, right? So we have to kind of create a mindset for the each individual, right? And also, I mean to say, like, whatever the CEO, whoever is thinking, that should be reachable to the lowest level employee, kind of it should be echoed to that lowest level. It resonates basically, right? And I think one other thing that comes to me mind, like, do small things in a bigger way, not big things in a small way, right? So that really creates an impact as well. And also, like, in any customer based industry, we have to take each customer or each whatever these things, uh, minute things also as a very sensitively, because that may create an opportunity or that may lose a customer, right? So I think I like that point from the Lingam. And the coming to the other point of the Kupuswamy said resilience, right? So I totally agree, because nowadays the people, the cultural or mindset of moving from one generation, it's like a more of a generations. In fact, Lingam also said that transitioning from mainframes all the way to the cloud and AI, it's like, it's a lot of, different transformations happening, right? I think it's a to that point, I think when Kupuswamy said resistance is like more of a cultural mindset where people may not in the process of pursuing the skill or maybe lack of confidence. And that brings me one more point. People always think that when AI comes, it will replace humans. It's not actually. It will help you basically to create a clone of yourself. It's more of like you will be creating a more volume projects or outcome. It's not just like you'll be replaced with somebody automation. Let's say Kupuswamy did some DevOps automation, that's done, right? You would be able to deliver a multiple project. That means you can support massive things actually, right? So that's really a valuable insight. I think Dinesh also called out very valid points on the transformation side as well. So, and coming to your question, the how do tech leaders balance a risk with the need of innovation, right? So in my opinion, innovation doesn't happen in a comfort zone, right? It requires a bold thinking. So and the bold thinking comes with the risk, definitely, right? So there's a it's like a coin. You have a benefit at the same time you have a risk always in terms of dollar, in terms of whatever you have, right? The real test of a tech leaders lies in striking that delicate balance, basically pushing the boundaries without losing the stability, basic, right? So in my perspective, there are top 5 points to be considered. And the first one is like start small, scale smart, right? The smallest innovation often begins as a small bets, right? Like you just go with very smaller chunks of things, right? And the great leader encourages rapid prototyping. So let's say if you just you started one with task that's given the desired outcome, and then you're just putting the second one embedded to it, and then just create another, see actually how it is gaining the outcome. So that way we already have a success prototypes, and then we have to make it much bigger, right? And these testing these ideas in a low risk environment to learn quickly, and we can pivot fast, right? And the second point is a build guardrails and not the walls, basically, right? The risk management shouldn't kill the innovation, basically, right? It should guide it. So by setting this clear guardrails like a governance model, I think like Kupuswamy, I think, or Lingam, maybe other folks mentioned. So these guardrails, like a governance model, like, what are the leadership thinking and what are the let's set boundaries in terms of dollar, in terms of the tools, in terms of the team, whatever, right? And then also like definitely nowadays it's a security is also another constraint. So whatever the things, right? And we have to put a review checkpoints, like we have to do a constant checkpoints, and also we have to put some safety protocols, security things in constraint, and the leaders allow teams to explore while staying grounded, basically, right? And the third point is champion of culture of learning. Not every experiment will succeed. I think Lingam clearly mentioned and the before in the beginning itself, right? That's okay, right? That's how the every innovation will start, right? It's not like, even just think an example of like a kid, right? A kid wants to just walk, or kids want to take a bike. It just, you'll just start, by step. That's how everything will happen, right? So the great leaders embrace failure as part of the journey and using it to fuel the continuous learning rather than a fear, basically, right? They make it safe for the teams to try, fail, learn, and grow from that, right? And the fourth point is stay laser focused on the value, right? So what is actually a leadership, or what we are going to reach? What is a business outcome? What we wanted? So we have to stay focused. And then to that point, innovation isn't just about being new. It's all about being valuable. And the tech leaders constantly connect experiments to the business outcomes, ensuring that every risk taken has a purpose and there's a potential return on investment, right? And the last point is empower diverse thinking. I think all the other speakers, they've already clearly mentioned that the way we have to welcome all the teams to think out of the box, right? So the best ideas often comes from unexpected place, in terms of like people thought process and their different skill sets and things like that, right? So inclusive leaders create a space for every voice and giving the cross-functional teams the confidence to question, challenge, and contribute for each and every aspect of it. So this diversity reduces the blind spots and leads to a smart risk taking, right? When somebody questions, oh, okay, you may not be missing this angle, basically. That's what I think. Everybody will have a different lens. They should think from the different angle. So that overall, maybe filter out already a risk, which somebody might have seen actually, right? So to conclude, the balance in the risk and innovation isn't just a tightrope, it's a leadership mindset. So it's all about bold it's about being bold enough to try new things and wise enough to do with the intention, basically. So as a tech leaders, we don't eliminate the risk, we lead through it, kind of we manage the risk. So that's how uh, we turn big ideas into a real impact. So that's my view. Thank you.
Superb. Yeah, amazing. That was intriguing as well. My next question is for Dinesh. So, when we are talking about effective leadership, can you please help us understand that what role does continuous learning play when it's about tech leadership?
Yeah, definitely. So, being in this industry for more than 20 plus years, I have almost spent most of the days learning, right? So, we have to keep learning every day. That is not an optional, that is actually the mandatory things being in the technology industry, right? And technology is, evolving faster than ever. Like you consider right now, the LLM ChatGPT came in, then all of a sudden the new other LLMs also coming up, and everything is behaving in a little bit different. So we need to keep up with the market, and that's how we can, progress in the industry. And as a tech leader, I have always realized that what I knew 5 years ago or even 1 year ago is no longer enough, right? So if I want to speak confidently, then to my team. So what I have to do is I have to always, keep reading. so keep up to the current. So that way it helps me a lot. So, but learning is not about just the technology. It also about growing as a leader. Okay, which means like learning how to build the inclusive team, how to create a safe environment, and then where people can speak up, how to adapt to, currently the remote culture, right? The hybrid work culture. So we need to learn how to navigate, how to work with them as well. So that is also something we need to learn apart from the technology. So personally, what I would do is like I will, and as a leader, I need to set an example. So what I do and my team does the same thing, right? So whether it's like a a book or a course or even a lesson from a mistake I have made, right? I have to learn. I have to explain my team, and they also talk to me openly. That's how we need to navigate. When your team actually sees you constantly reading, and it sends a message also, right? That's it's okay to ask questions, explore new ideas, challenges. So building the culture when where learning is normal is very very important. That way, it helps the team. Um, so continuous learning also keeps us grounded, meaning like it reminds us uh, that we don't have all the answers at all the time. It's okay to be like that. And in my experience, teams that embrace learning are more resilient, more innovative, and better prepared to navigate change. So what I would say is continuous learning is what keeps leadership relevant and teams future ready. That's my view on this.
Great. That was amazing to hear from you. My next question is for Katalingam. What uh, what techniques are most effective for driving digital transformation?
Hey, thank you, Riya. First of all, thanks to Lesman Karupasamy and Dinesh. Is couple of valid point we are talk about today. A keyword is innovations, but everyone we said about how much struggle our teams are facing and how to support ourselves as a good leader to encourage our team members. That's a key. I am keyword. I am is coming from everyone. Everyone talk about that part. It sounds good to me. And coming back to the techniques, digital transformation is a process that integrate digital technologies into all area of the business. Fundamentally, how we are changing in the business, how we are delivering and focusing on the customers. And the technology, I am okay. You guys know about my background. I came from mainframe, then I traveled from mainframe to cloud. I am right now. I am in the cloud technology. I will talk about more cloud because that is a one I am focusing on right now to my customer. Main thing is embrace changing and innovations. Digital transformation is adopting the new technology. Be open and encourage your team to experiment with new tool. For example, cloud adoption. I can tell the live example. You guys all know about Netflix. Previously, Netflix they are using physical data center. They will upload or they will transfer everything in the physical data center. The video will be available. Now, once they transfer to AWS web service as a cloud infrastructure, this move enable Netflix to scale its service globally. It's now India worldwide. They are servicing globally and deliver content very fast and response growing demand with visibility, lower cost. That is a key. That's kind of innovations. The technique they implemented in their infrastructure. Now in Netflix is cost wise also they are good. And second point is focus on the customer experience. What I'm telling, I take it another example. Tesla. Everyone know about Tesla. They integrated AI and automations in their manufacturing process, and now they are introducing robotics and AI powered tool streamline the productions. That way they developed self-driving car, improving vehicle performance and safety. That is that kind of automations and AI integrations they implemented, and they are very focused on the customer side, what customer is looking for. That is the one I'm talking about. The second one with live example. And you guys know data driven decision making. That is a key one. Whenever you guys are talking about data, we are always need to talk about cyber security and data privacy focus. That is a technique we need to mainly focus on our side. I can get it another example of Bank of America. The bank invested heavily in the cyber tool last quarter and previous quarter also. The biometric authentications. Whenever you guys are any bank nowadays, if you are opening the banking app, it will ask for two kind of authentications now. That's kind of innovations they did it for cybersecurity. Who is logging and how to prevent that data very secure level. That kind of techniques they followed. That's why they very focused on the data one. And everyone know about agile and feasibility. How we are tracking our process. How we are focusing on our goal. That's why the agile practices comes to innovation side. For example, Spotify, they adopted our agile process across in team, rapidly develop and deploy in new features. That's why they use that. Not only Spotify is the one of the example, but nowadays healthcare, banking and domain, all the domains also they are following agile process. That is one of the techniques they are using to plan their work and how they are going to deliver. And third one, the last one is collaborating across the teams. Digital is not just for IT initiative. It's involve collaborations across all the departments. For marketing to finance, breaking down, help create an unfair approach to digital changes. Is all collaboration work. It's not only for IT. IT can do the innovations, but the marketing, who is delivering, who is presenting the product owner to customer, those is kind of collaborative work. That technique we need. And last one, the strong leadership. The tech leader, you need to be clear vision of where you want to take the company or communicate it effortlessly to everyone. How we are delivering the product, that is a key for my this is all the techniques I am looking, I based on my experience I am sharing to you guys. Thank you, thanks for great opportunity.
Thank you so much for sharing your views. We really appreciate it. Uh, my next question is for Kurpaswamy. I would like to ask you, how can tech leaders align innovation with broader business objectives?
Yeah, thanks, Riya. Thanks. That's a good question. So for whatever we talk about, right? So it's innovation and the tech leader, being a tech leader, how we do innovation, right? So far we have not talked about business, how the innovation helps for business, right? And or how we utilize that innovation to make it as a business, right? At the end of the day, that what matters for the company, right? So that is what they basically looking for, right? So it is like a gap between the technology and the business, right? So yeah, obviously the technology they build it, but how do we make it as a business, right? So how that is how being a leader they take it from there. So the tech leaders they do their technological improvements or advancement, whatever it is, right? So they create it, and but how do we sell it to the customer, right? So that's where the tech leaders, again get into picture. So where, they basically, it's see the innovation is not just sake of a technology, right? It's alone is not just to build it and or take it to a readable format or usable format or whatever we call it, right? So take it that, but how do we bring it to the customer with their acceptable format, right? It is nothing but, so the customer is as Kotalingam mentioned, Lingam mentioned, right? So for example, the Bank of America, so they're coming and they're asking that we need a more security, right? So being a tech leader, they just suggested, okay, why don't you go with a uh, kind of securities like you have a password option, so you have a thumb impression, and you have plenty of things, right? So and you have even now they have a two-way authentication as well, right? So you get a passcode. So now that is to make sure that nobody uses your accounts. You know, they cannot access, they are not supposed to access your funds or anything, right? So that way they introduce something. So, but how do you sell it to the business, right? So to the customer. So that makes what the tech leader as a big innovator as well as the good business partners as well, right? So while I would say I have an example of that. So when we talk about innovations and with the business, so I have one real example where I was leading a cloud migration where we have a plenty I mean, since we are all tech leaders, so I hope the technology, whatever I'm talking about, is about the cloud. Hope everyone understands. So where we have plenty of in the cloud arena, we have a disks. Each disks were used for storing the data. So whereas each disk has its kind of a cost based and cost based separated with the cost based as well as the performance based, right? So when we consider the cost base, that is for good for the customers who use it for the performance wise, but the same time when we think about the savings wise for the customer, so they cannot spend all the money to just for adding only one few performance based disk, right? So they have to think it in a way such a way that where they use and where they don't need it. So you cannot put all the places with the high cost disks. So that way, being a tech leader, you can suggest them where basically it is necessary and where it is not required at the time of your business. So that way you suggest them, and bring the cost to them. So that really helps. In my one of my the this cost optimization project where I was able to reduce yearly 800K dollars per year for a customer by reducing that performance disk with the low performance disk in the place of high performance disk in the DR environment. So that really, that helps the business from the cognizant as well as from the customer side, that relationship improved by, it's all matter of cost, how they reduce it. So that is one example, good example I wanted to talk about here. So again, it's obviously end of the day, by collaborating the finance and the operations, right? That is what basically helps the customer to bring up their business to the same vendors instead of being a they search for new vendors every time for their new implementations. So that keeps a company grow from the business perspective, I'm saying, as well as from the technology perspective. You learn a lot when you build a new technology for your customer based on their need. So yeah, that is the one of the innovating with a broader business objective. So just innovation doesn't end up, obviously, how we you know do or help the business to grow with the perspective of innovating in new technologies. Yeah. And thanks very much for giving this heading to talk about. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. My next question is for Lakshman Rao. How do tech leaders build resilience in their teams during disruptions?
Yeah. So thanks for the question. I think I'll just go over before that. I think so other speakers, whatever they're going through, they're literally like, um, outstanding perspectives. So I think that maybe I would like to call out the Dinesh point, right? Like primarily the continuous learning and creating a freedom of expression environment. And also he talked about mentoring for a real-time projects or POCs. I think that's when the we'll get an opportunity for the new technologies is to learn, and also from understand the boundaries and how we can implement in a better way in the real-time projects. So I really like the point, Dinesh, the way you mentioned. And I think the Lingam, the real-time example you shared, you stole my heart, because I think definitely we live in the world where we see this Netflix and whatever the transformation. Because I work for one of the data center client, I understand the perspective of nowadays. I think the in terms of the user bases and the scalability, for example, Netflix, they may have like a overnight, or the customer usage or the client usage, it's completely dynamic. The few customers, they use only service in the weekdays, and few really uses only on the weekends. That kind of, it's a really dynamic. So definitely the cloud infrastructure, it's definitely like, based upon the user's presence or, load, it just ramp up, ramp down instead of the fixed infrastructure. So that definitely helps the even not spending more, expenditure on the infrastructure. It's completely dynamically changes and helps the customer. That's where I think the cloud is really helping a lot. I think that definitely on the banking sector, definitely, I think as we are growing with respect to the technology, the cyber threat, security, whoever hacker, they're trying to steal the personal information. Definitely, there's multi-factor authentication and enforcing the more kind of security is definitely needed. I think even Kupuswamy also mentioned maybe going forward we'll have like a iris scan or something, whatever. I think definitely biometrics will may show up too, so that gives some more security things, right? And the other point, and I really impressed with the Kupuswamy thinking process, right? So I think definitely in the service industry, I think we have to, when we go and work with a business, as they're trusting us, I think we need to understand the critical business, and we own it. It's not that we act as a service integrator. We just feel like, yes, we are part of you, integral part of you. We own your business and understand their, I think the critical things. And I think we have to go one step extra, and whatever the resources they have, where to utilize properly. I think that's when the trust and the overall impact it will create, and it will create the future opportunities as well. So I really like that thought process, Kupuswamy. I think coming to your question on I think how do tech leaders build a resilience in their teams during the disruption, right? So I think in my perspective, disruption isn't a rare event anymore. It's a constant reality, right? So whether it's a rapid technological change or global uncertainty, or the landscape is always shifting, right? So in these times, the role of a tech leader goes beyond the managing the moment. They must cultivate the resilience within their teams, empowering them not just to endure the change, but to grow stronger with that, basically, right? So I think, in my view, there are 4 to 5 points to be considered. I think the very first point is lead with the transparency, right? In uncertain times, the silence breeds fear. So, and the resilient teams are built on trust, and that starts with open and honest communication. So even when the answers aren't perfect, right? So I think that's the environment the leaders should be creating. And the second point is promote a growth mindset. The tech leaders who emphasizes learning over perfection helps the teams to bounce back faster, right? For example, if something happened, if disruption happened in the course of what your journey, so we have to promote the mindset. That's okay. You can just move on to the next one, go for the next second try, right? So then when we set backs are seen when the setbacks are seen as a growth opportunities, the resilience becomes a habit, not just a reaction. So they think that, okay, we had this problem, just keep doing what you until you reach your goal. That's the mindset we should be the tech leader should be creating. And the third point is a model of a common clarity, right? The leader sets the tone, staying calm and focused and a solution oriented during the disruption gives the team the confidence to stay grounded and move forwarding, right? And the fourth point is build and adaptive processes. So resilient teams aren't just tough, they are flexible. So they just go a little bit beyond and uh, for example, if they're stuck on something and if they find something issue, they're not sticking to the point of boundaries. So they just should be flexible enough to go here and there to check whether they're meeting the expectation, right? Or reaching the goals. So they empower the teams to adjust priorities, experiment with the new approaches, and embrace agility as a strength, right? And the last one is invest in well-being. So resilience isn't it just a mental, it's emotional and psychical too, right? So leaders who check in, encourage a balance and support wellness, creates teams that can go to the distance and not just survive that moment. So we have to, the environment that we create, it should be like a long lasting thing actually. So to conclude, the tech leaders can't prevent a disruption, but we can prepare for it and we can manage it, right? So by building the trust, encouraging the learning and modeling stability, staying flexible and caring for our people, because our people are the more valuable assets than the, I think, our outcome, I would say. Um, I think, and we created teams that don't just endure the change, they emerge stronger because of that outcome, right? So I think that's the my thought process. Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you so much, Lakshman Rao. My last question for today is to Dinesh. What future trends should tech leaders prepare for to maintain competitiveness?
Thanks for the question here. Um, so, there are several important trends that tech leaders need to pay close attention to. Not just being staying competitive, right, but stay relevant. Um, and the first and foremost thing is artificial intelligence is no longer just a buzzword. It's becoming part of the foundation, right? And how we mostly in how we build products, automate decisions, and even optimizing the operations. And also from predictive analytics to generative AI, it's reshaping the way business operates. So, but with that outcomes a new level of responsibility also comes in, which is nothing but around the ethics, right? How we use the AI, so the transparency and the governance things. So technical leaders needs to think beyond what AI can do and start asking what it should do. And another major shift is happening on how we manage and access data. Since I come from the data background, now if you look at the traditional centralized data warehouses are giving ways to more of a modern decentralized architecture. There are some data mesh and fabrics, right? So these models support agility at scale, especially for large and distributed teams. Um, but they also demand new way of thinking about data ownership, quality, and governance. Right. And in addition to the embracing new technologies, leaders also need to focus on building sustainable and responsible systems. Um, like if you see the cloud adoption has really skyrocketed, but we have about concerns about the cost control also, like the environmental impact, security, and all those things. So it's not just about being fast, it's about being thoughtful, how we can scale in a way that's efficient, secure, and aligned with the ethical and regulatory standards. And finally, one of the most important investments we can make is in our people. Technology will continue to evolve at a rapid pace, but it's the team who can learn, adapt, and innovate together. That way, truly drive long-term success, right? So that means creating culture that supports continuous learning, collaboration and psychological safety, will make us be more competitive. And that's my thought process on this. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dinesh. Uh, Thank you all as we wrap up this insightful session on navigating change, the role of tech leaders in innovation. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of the business fame and Scriberlee. First and foremost, um, I would like to say thanks to all the speakers for sharing your insights and your expertise about the topic. Your insights into leadership, digital transformation, innovation were truly inspiring. Thank you so much again for sharing it. My special thanks to Mr. Ajay. Thank you so much for hosting this conference and keep hosting such more conferences. Thank you so much again. As the founder of Scriberlee myself, I am a writer and a trainer. It has been my absolute pleasure to moderate this discussion. Before we conclude, I would like to share a quick announcement. Ajay and I have recently launched our books. So, along with founders, we have turned to be authors as well. And we have launched our book writing challenge as well. So, in past 6 months, Ajay and I together we have written 7 books as ghost authors for uh, people in different industries. So we have launched a book writing challenge where we'll help you from writing your entire book along with the publication process as well. We are in tie-ups with the second best publishing house in India, Singapore, and Dubai. If you ever want to write a book, this is the perfect opportunity to turn your dream into reality. Once again, a big thank you to everyone. And thank you for making this event a great success. I look forward for more such discussions with you. Wishing you all a successful year ahead and have a great day too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you all.
thank you,
Thanks for having
Ajay
us.
and Ria.
Because
It's good to see different persons in different technology, different domain. Nice talking to you all, and thanks for great opportunity. Uh, it's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ajay, and thanks, Arya. I think this is actually second opportunity for me, and I think I'm glad that actually having me here on the second time, and then connecting with the more industry leaders and digital transformation leaders. I know few of them like Dinesh and in LinkedIn. I think I think I'm looking forward to connect with you all and have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
have a good day to you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
yeah,
Thank you, Ajay. Bye.
bye.